Eurovision 2018, semi-final 1. The jury show is in just a few hours. We have seen the first dress rehearsal all 19 countries sang, and it is time for us to go around and name which countries we think are going to qualify for the grand final. Are you ready? Let's do this! Yes, this is a bloodbath, splat, crimson red everywhere. We have to let some of our darlings go. We've come to know them.
We have to kill some of our darlings.
Correction, televoters and the jury will kill the darlings. We are here to love and celebrate diversity, celebrate la vie, et celebrate la musique. In any case...
Build bridges.
Yes, we had a tete-a-tete prior to this, and we all agreed on 4 countries advancing.
Is that all we agreed on?
That's all we agree on. The first country we agree on is
Cyprus.
The second country is Estonia.
Israel, shalom, honey.
And we're loving beyond the bones with Bulgaria.
So those are the 4 that we agree on. That leaves 6 open spots. This is going to be a very confusing video, but 3 of us agreed on Austria. Who were those 3?
I agreed on Austria.
Okay, well, so first, Chris, why didn't you think Austria would advance?
I just feel that they've thrown way too much at the staging. I feel like there is somebody who I have on my list who I think comes later, who maybe steals Cesar's spotlight as a solo male act.
Debin.
Yes.
Thoughts on Austria?
I agree on Austria. No, I think Austria will go through. It's a really strong song. Staging, they've tweaked quite a lot. Now his image doesn't come on the back anymore, right? They've taken that out.
It does.
Does it still come on?
Yeah.
You know what? Image or no image, this is a strong song.
I like the image. Can you go grab him quickly? Can you go bring Cesar in? I quite like the fact that he has that image, because it's not like arrogant like with, what was his name? Isaiah, which a lot of people said that was arrogant. I think he sounds great. I think the visual is very much there. I don't mind that it's too much. In fact, I like that it's too much. I don't like paired back. I say make it explode, make it blow.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of male ballads, but his is the most current sounding of the lot. You could imagine this on the radio. It's like Sam Smith, Hosier, all that kind of genre.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cesar is here.
Oh, there
as well.
he is. Hey.
And in a compromising position.
Cesar, are you confident you'll go through to the final?
With God, everything is possible.
Amen, hallelujah. We're loving your gospel sound. Thank you so much. All right. While Debin scoots over to the seat, we will move on to the second country we all agree. 3 of us said Croatia would go through. Who are those 3? Oh my God. Okay, well, why don't we start with Chris again? Why don't you think Croatia's going through?
Because I feel like there's a better solo female act who comes later on. It's pretty much the same thing with Cesar. I mean, I love Franca, and she was the one who I literally just took off my list. Like, she is my number 11 at this point.
You know what? There are only 10 spots.
I know, and it really, really pains me because I think she's amazing, but I just have to go with who I think will make it through. And Croatia, I just can't see it. I just think it gets a little boring.
Let me tell you, this does not get boring. This gets sultry. You know what? Latvia and the other semifinal, they're trying to give us 50 Shades of Grey. This is giving us 50 Shades of Sizzle. Bang, boom. It is hot. It is fury. Eleni sings a fuego, but it is Franco bringing some heat. Honey. Classic sound. Boom, boom, boom. I love this. People will not forget Franca. It's a voice for the final. It's subtle staging for the final. She's going through.
It's not just the voice, it's the face, it's the body, it's the look, it's the staging. She has everything. She has the whole package. It's not a winner's package, but it's definitely getting through this. Well, it definitely deserves to get through this semi-final. And the song, it's just amazing. I really struggle to think of a song that's been elevated to such an extent, because every year we have it, but like I would have had this down maybe number 42, 40, that kind of region, and suddenly like she just brings it, and she's bringing it straight to the final.
Yes.
It's not easy to turn the dial on. Can you turn that off to please put it on repeat? Seriously sizzling, seriously on fire.
Yeah.
I love how expressive she is. You know, she does that go boom 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 boom. Honestly, how many orgasms can you have on a 3-minute track? She is totally owning it, and I love the confidence that she exudes. This is a woman that listened to the shade, but said, you know what, you've just got to see me live. And live you will later on tonight. Certainly the jurors will. I think she's going through.
We move on. Belarus. 3 of us said it was going through. Oh, so Devin, you are the negative one. Tell us why.
Turning the dial on I love this track so much, but I'm not so sure about seeing it live. Something is missing for me. It just seems so cute and so propped. And the whole gory back thing, it's excessive to the point of borderline gruesome. I like Forever. I think it's actually one of the strongest tracks in the competition, but I think visually doesn't work for me. And they've now rearranged his vocals in such a sparse way to kind of allow this visual piece to take flight, but for me it doesn't really take flight.
I think the gore, the blood, the roses is why it works. It actually elevates the track. It makes it more memorable. I'm sorry, people go to horror flicks because they want to see something freaky, and this is freaky, and yet it's also kind of mainstream because, like, I don't want to say slapstick, but I almost feel like they're in on the joke, or at least I hope they are, and it seems that way to me. Alexiev is very charismatic. I like when he rises from the stage. I like the bloody back. I like the arrow. I think this will make people LOL, and sometimes you can LOL while still respecting something. I know that I am.
Before you pass on to Porrick, there's a point in there that the trouble with this is it really does rely a lot on the technical crew, and if they're 1 second out, as they were in the rehearsals today, it dies. There's, you know, the point when I was blind before you, and then 1,000 roses shoot out from his body. It was 1 second late. You can't have those errors.
Honey, people vote on the song and the general staging, not one pedal coming 5 seconds late.
You said LOL, we need WTF as well. And I'm not talking about What the Forever. But the thing is that this song, like last year I wrote off Jacques Hudek, and that came back to bite me in the ass because he sailed into the final. And this, we always need kind of something crazy, and they need to go fully on board crazy. This isn't half-assed crazy. This is expensive. It tells a story, it tells a narrative, it grabs the attention, it grabs the imagination. This is what televoters at home love. And along with that, like Forever, as you said, Devin, it's quite a contemporary song. His vocals have improved so much since the Belarusian final. Yeah, there's always a space for crazy, and I don't see...
I like that.
I don't
space
see,
for crazy.
And not just Franca's crazy. And I don't see a reason either for the juries to drag it down. So, like, I think it is going to qualify quite comfortably.
I'm pretty much on exactly the same wavelength. I mean, God bless Alex Panay, because once again, he has managed to make something kind of out of nothing. He nearly did it with Uzari and Maimuna a few years ago. That doesn't count. But that was just the staging, and now I think they've got the staging to match the kind of mood of the song. I just think it's so... It tells a story, and that's my issue with Cesar Sampson, is I don't see a story in his staging, but I see a story in Alexi's, and that's why, yes, they've thrown a lot at it, but I think it works in this context. And people at home are going to love this. They're going to think, what is that? Classic Eurovision staging for a WTF moment. Perfect. Sailing through, I think.
An isolated rose panning like a 360-degree cut.
He gets shot.
You know what?
Listen, y'all, we need to get this video online, so we need to keep it succinct. None of this Judge Judy stuff, and let's keep rolling. Who said Lithuania would go through? Okay, so that's Chris and I. I'm going to start the defense right now. This is atmospheric and like nothing else in the contest. From the lighting to the voice to the on-screen graphics, it stands out. Before Eurovision, I didn't rate this song. I didn't like this song. I was bored as anything. But it's very magical, and I think that will be enough to cut through.
Exactly. I mean, once again, she's made me cry several times now. She is the loveliest person I think I've ever met in terms of a Eurovision artist, and that's probably on a personal level. It's on a personal level, which is probably why I want it to go through so much. But I do think, genuinely, her vocal, the effects on screen, I think it really deserves a place in the final.
Yeah, I mean, she's Miss Congeniality times 100. She is just the loveliest person, and meeting her, she's not even turning it on.
Why is she not going through?
Why is she not going through? I just don't think that the bits of her that we see are the bits that are being judged. And I think that whilst she does offer a really strong song, I think it might just miss the cut. It might just miss the top 10. I just don't think it has such a wide appeal to push it forward.
All right, Porrig.
It's a wonderful way to say why it's not going through without saying why it's not going through. But I think
thank you, Miss Congeniality.
I think it lacks the impact needed. As I've said before, the song, it's too not monotonous, but it's very flat. There's no ups and downs, and the melody, it doesn't change. There's not enough variation in the song and the structure itself. The staging is nice and simple, but will it stand out when we compare it to everything else? And the thing is, it's nice, it's sweet, but nice and sweet rarely does very well at Eurovision.
She did kill it at the London Eurovision party. I mean, live she's actually quite...
You're on the side saying that she's not going through.
So you're
I'm just saying that what she does bring.
He's just putting a down payment on his free CD.
Yes, like if we think back to last year, Martina Barta was lovely, Claudia Faniello was lovely, and they had similar slow songs that were sweet and lovely, but in the end, Europe forgot about them.
And we move on to Belgium. Who said Belgium was qualifying? Me and Porrig. Porrig, begin the defense.
I think Belgium, it's dark and mysterious, yet it's not cold and alienating, and I think it's just even the Bond team to it, but it's a high-class Bond feel to it. It doesn't feel like a knockoff, it doesn't feel derivative. And I feel that people are kind of writing Belgium off because Belgium, for whatever reason, in the last couple of years, they've been elevated to such a high platform that people rank them, expect so much for them, and then when they don't deliver as City Lights or Rhythm Inside, people are kind of a bit skeptical. But I think Belgium have a quality package, and I think they're going to be rewarded for it.
Honey, let me cut to the chase. She, of course, is a visual merchandiser at IKEA. IKEA has 150,000 employees across Europe. The IKEA diaspora vote is going to Belgium, honey. That on top of the fact, she's got a beautiful voice. She's got mysterious staging. There's nothing like this. The tonality of this really stands out. There's a unique timbre to her voice. Our girl Laura slays. Her name is not Laura. Her name is Cynic. Our girl Cynic slays.
My girl Laura grows Cynic. She's great. Actually, she's really great. But I do think that the song is stronger than the stage. And Porrig, laugh all you want. But, I do think her song is stronger than her staging. She's great.
Honey, get a little closer. You're going out of frame.
Yeah. She's great. She's great. I wish I had more spots.
I just don't know. I am one of those people that has loved Belgium for the last 3 years, but even at this stage...
Cradle, honey.
But Blanche was better at this stage, I think. She'd improved at this point, whereas this, it has improved, but it's minute little steps. I think the makeup has worked, but it's staged for a minute, and then it's wandering around the catwalk for 2. And it really pains me because I think that she has got a great voice. I was really excited from the start. I enjoyed the song when it first came out, but now in this bloodbath, the little faults is what's knocking people out of my top 10.
They get magnified. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, from the bloodbath, we take a shower. Who thinks Albania is going through? All right, so it is just to me. Now, look, I know the odds are stacked against you, Jen. Albania does not have the best track record of qualifying, but I think that juries are going to absolutely love this. I think he may be the strongest male vocalist of the year, or at least among the strongest male vocalists of the year. I said among, so yes, Savak is also wonderful. This song is the only one like it in its genre in this semi. I think it's going to stand out. Yes, it's simple staging, but it's done effectively. It's done well. I love the camera angles. I love the lights. I'm just really confident. Rock has its fans, and in this semi, there's only one rock song, y'all. So you go Albania. Quickly throw your shade.
I think it's a very good song, and I think that it possibly deserves to qualify, but I can't see it qualifying. It's lacking the wow factor. His vocals delivered, the staging, it's quite... we've seen it before, it's not earth-shatteringly new. The song itself then probably loses a certain amount of connectivity to the viewers at home by being in Albanian because it's not a widely spoken tongue. I think he will do quite well in that he could come 11th or 12th and be very close to qualifying, because when I was doing the list, I didn't eliminate him immediately, but I just don't see, he doesn't have the edge that's necessary to get into that top 10. Devin's going to say that.
I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I think that there's a stronger male solo vocalist, not in terms of the actual just vocal, but I think just in terms of the package and the fact they come on later. I do think that might be the thing that knocks him out, particularly with the televote. I think the jury might be more supportive of him, and I would love actually to see it in the final, but I just don't think that it will make it. I think it actually might be in my personal top 10 for this semi, but in terms of prediction, I don't think it's making it.
So this is one of the ones that just gets better with every spin, but you know what? The first one didn't grab me as much. It just left me slightly loose, and I need it to just clench me a little bit tighter. You know, rock, I don't mind so much, but rock in Albanian, it's a tough sell. And whilst I do love Eugen, who speaks perfect English, it does blow my mind that this is the one song Albanians have decided to keep in Albanian.
Okay, quickly now, we're going to go through the rest of the countries, but I forgot to say the 3 countries we agree on that are going home. Just very quickly, we need to keep this succinct. This video is getting very long. Ireland, former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and Iceland. All 4 of us agree that these are out. Succinct thoughts on any of them. I think Macedonia's staging is still too messy. It's a shame. It's one of the best studio cuts of the year, but it's just a little messy.
When I was doing my list, I had my pen. The first song I struck out was Iceland.
All right.
Yeah, I think Macedonian staging is too messy. I think the Irish staging, whilst it's good, I don't think it takes it that much further to push it through. And Iceland, I mean, he's always been a sweet darling, but, you know, we just kind of knew from the very start that, you know, he was dead on arrival. Almost.
Not him, but the song.
Definitely not him. Yeah, and he sings that song well, but I just think that in this competition, it's not really cutting that, you know, it's not cutting it.
Iceland, I think it's obvious why. The song just isn't there. Lovely guy, great voice, but there is nothing to that song. Macedonia, awful staging at the end of the day, and a really good song. And then Ireland is the one where I'm kind of like, oh, maybe they could, but ultimately I just ruled them out. Staging doesn't work. They needed to focus more on the dancers and less on Ryan and his pianist.
Playing girl.
Doesn't make sense. And yes, they have increased the dancers, but it's still not enough.
Thank you, sir. Now that leaves us to talk about Finland, Czech Republic, Greece, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Switzerland. Kicking it off with Finland. Who thinks it's going through? So look, my hand's not up. I want it to go through. I think it could go through.
No. Just say why you
No, honey, because this Semifa, excuse me, coming from Miss Congeniality, who's like, oh, you know, blah, 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 everything is beautiful, everything is rainbows and butterflies. You're over what?
Honey, just keep it real.
I still think this could qualify, but I only could choose 10 songs. I could only choose 10 songs. 13. In any case, God, I love how hard you're coming down on me when you just kind of... In any case,
I just need him to keep it real.
I think that her vocals are among the best. I think people could really get behind this. I just don't know how things are going to fall. And my instinct told me that maybe this was in danger. That's no shade against Finland or Sarah, who I love deeply, as you know. I love the staging. I love the androgynous militaristic dancers. I had to go with my gut.
Just quite not
I had to go with my gut. I had to go with my gut, honey. All right, so please, look, Pep Pouring.
I think it's going through based on the quality of the song. The staging is memorable. Maybe it's a bit too frenetic, but I think it's got the crazy element to it that Belarus has. And it's done in a classier way than Belarus, even though, and the song, it's an instant, the moment Monsters came out, it became an instant favourite with the bookies. And the reason it's gone so low with the odds makers since then is largely based on the UMK performance. And that performance has been buried deep down in the TV archives, never to be seen again. And she's come with something new and fresh, and she's a pop star to keep an eye on, and we knew that already from the X Factor. And I think Eurovision is just going to be the launchpad for her.
You know what? She's not holding on to those monsters. Those dark demons are being cast out, and that is being manifested in her performance. There's a lot of trust issues here. She's letting go. She does the spin. She falls on these 2 military men. There's a lot for the eye, there's a lot for the ear. Her vocals have never been at fault, ever. And even she arrived camera cue perfect. You know, at UMK she was singing 3 songs and she had to love them equally. Now, honey, she's riding solo and she is pushing that song forward. Sarah is a true pro in this game. Semi-final 1, make it semi-final 10. She is going through.
Yeah, I think that the staging is so much improved. I think there is a real... I do think that she'll make it. There is the doubt, obviously, will the juries get it? You know, Sarah is the perennial runner-up, and I just don't want her to end up being like 11th, more or less. But no, I think that the staging is sufficient now that her vocal helps push it through. Because if juries don't respect the vocal, then you would think there is something wrong there.
All right, we're going to have to speed through these final countries, y'all. So we're going to keep it succinct. We're going to keep it real. Czech Republic. Who thinks it's going through? All right, Chris, you kick us off.
I wish that he was better. I just think that the staging doesn't quite get there. It has improved even with the whole back injury, but I just don't get it at the moment. I just don't think that he's going to make it, and I can't quite put my finger on why.
I'm kind of with you. I feel like him not being able to move and work that body is going to negatively impact this. It's a great song. I really love the staging that they are going for, but I'm just concerned that physically he won't be able to convey what he wanted to convey, the thrust, the swagger, and I certainly don't want him to hurt himself, so I hope he doesn't overdo it on the night, because he has a long career ahead of him, and this, while it's important, should not hurt him in the long run.
He's got a very contemporary and accessible song that I think people at home, definitely like the teenage girl and the teenage boy audience that vote the most in these kind of competitions, will get behind. And then he's got the boyish charm and charisma that will endear him to older people. And the stage is so slick, and I think we're comparing him to the pre-injury Mikolas. The people at home aren't familiar with the pre-injury Mikolas, so they don't have the negative comparison to make in their heads.
This is one of the songs that I'm not mad about, but I think everything here works, and it's not just about personal taste. I cannot ignore the reactions in the press room. I cannot ignore the reactions of my friends when they call me and they say, oh, that Czech act. I cannot ignore the reactions of the people in Lisbon City Gardens. You know, they love this song, and I'm feeding off that love. I'm tapping into it. I think this is going through. I truly think so.
Next up, Lady in White, Greece, Onera, Mu, Onera, Hu, Guyana. That's who. Who think this is going through? Chris is the only one.
Because I think that she'll knock Franca out. That's the one. I think that she has improved a lot in the dress rehearsal that we just watched. She had the smoke, she had the pyro, she had the things that she needed to make that instrumental break, which was boring before now, actually really work. I think that the vocal is a little concern for me, but I think that she has the backing to help her with that. And yeah, I can just see that Greeks around Europe will vote for this at the end of the day. And obviously they might vote for Eleni as well, but I think that I think it's safe.
See, I think they're definitely going to go for Eleni. In the Battle of the Greeks, it is Cyprus's Greek singer who...
for each.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel like Fuego is so high impact. And it's not a race between the two of them. I just think this isn't good enough staging. The staging's not good enough. It's a little boring.
It got better, actually. They added a bit of smoke, lots of pyro. But you gotta like the song. And you know what? For this song, I need to just... many songs that are being sung in local languages do sort of translate. And this one is just sweet. But sweet isn't enough. I've got 10 cards for 19 spots, you know?
Yeah.
The famed Greek diaspora, they fled the good ship Argo back in 2016. And I can't see them going back to Yana either. Because, like you said, if they want to vote for a big name that they're familiar with, it's the woman who's constantly in the Greek charts, which is Eleni Ferreira. Yana isn't even well known. Yana lives off in Atlanta or somewhere in America.
Hey girl, Peach State.
So she doesn't have that familiarity with the Greek diaspora. And why would people in Britain or Ireland vote for a woman singing in a language that they don't understand, and she's dressed in a white dress with blue paint on her hand? People are just going to be like, why? And the song is dull for non-Greek speakers. The majority of Europe are non-Greek speakers.
We move on to Armenia. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. I love this song. I love the performer. Who thinks Sevak is going through? All right, Chris.
Always the wild card, because I think he's knocking Cesar Samson out. I think that he is a very, very amazing vocalist. In that arena, I really felt it. I think that they have improved little things. We said in the previous video that his outfit was a bit boring. He's now added that silver, that I think we even said, like, add a silver touch or something, and he has, and it makes him stand out now. He's no longer blending into the background or into the light. Amazing vocals. I think Armenia so often qualify. It takes something really poor for them not to, and this is not poor.
You know what? I've just realised actually I didn't put Armenia. So that was just like a mental
Honey,
omission.
none of this. There are only 10 cards in my hand, and there are 19 girls. You cannot have an 11th. Tell me why you don't think Armenia is going through. To play Deben Aderimi against Deben Aderimi, honey, why is this not going through?
I do love the fact that you've actually omitted him as well, so I'm going to be carrying your dial.
Please.
What I need to tell you is this. Totes consistent. From Debris of Ratisil right through to here, and others are upping their game. He's not throwing any more surprises out. And I think that's why he got a little forgotten. Actually, I didn't realize I didn't put him through. But now I can almost sort of justify it with that sort of little mental note. Savak, though, he's truly amazing.
He is. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. That wind is blowing, and Savak is the force behind it.
Well, it's obviously not blowing into your scorecard. I don't know why you left him out.
This is not blowing into my scorecard. This is a prediction of Europe's scorecard. This is not my personal taste. If we were doing a personal top 10, this would be going through.
All 19 will be in.
No, this would be going through. The sad reality is, I'm just looking at the reactions in the press room, and that's what I have to go off of at this point.
Oh, really? So it's not even yours anymore?
No, honey, this is a prediction. This is not about my personal taste. I love him, and I always want to see Hayastan slaying. But in this instance, it's not that I think he's out. I think that it's a close race for those bottom spots. It's a close, and so he is in the mix. But for this list, when I had to choose, I didn't put him down. That's not a preference. That's a reflection of the environment. I'm reading signals. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best, and I hope to see Hayastan in the final.
Well, it's telling that someone who has watched multiple rehearsals, interviewed the man, sees him every day on red carpets and whatnot, forgot about the song himself. So how can you?
I don't know why it's all coming on me.
Because no, I'm just using you as an example because you have the familiarity, yet you forgot about it. So how will all these millions of people who outside of Armenia have no clue who Savak is, have no clue what Kami is about, why will they vote for him? Sorry, Chris?
Ukrainians know him. I mean, they're not voting.
They're not in the semi is the problem. Russians know him. He lives in Moscow.
And they're not in this semi-final.
Exactly. If he was in the second semifinal, he would be sailing through.
Oh, so that's what he needs.
It would help. I'm not saying he needs it. I'm saying it would help.
Who else are we discussing?
No, I don't understand. Why is there a rift? There is. Well, what is this rift?
What is the
I love Savak, and please don't suggest otherwise. I feel the Kami.
What, in Yerevan?
The Kami is in
but
my
we're not
soul.
there anymore.
You know what? Kami is in my soul.
Let's succinctly move
All right.
on to Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. Who thinks it's going through?
Luna moon me up. Let's just talk about that.
Do you think it's going through?
Yeah, this is Baku Fashion Week, babe.
So do you think it's going through?
Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
I think it's a really strong opener to the show. I think I don't have anything in the first 5 going through otherwise. I think that at least one will. And I think that I think Azerbaijan, again, perfect qualification record. Is it their strongest song they've ever sent? No. But I think that it's good enough. I think the staging is good enough. And I think it's memorable just enough. I think this is one that is right on the bubble for me, but it is going through at the moment.
I think, this is generic pop. It's as an audio cut, it's not that special, but you know what? They weren't just thinking of that. They thought about the visuals too, and the visuals here really tie in for me. The fact that it's opening up the show just builds that real hype and excitement. And it's fantastic. You remember it, the levels, the slayage, you've got Rui Andrade for goodness sake, and all the smoke, all the fog. This is going through.
I would like to see this go through because I really like her voice. However, I worry that because it opens the show, it may not be remembered. The staging is very simple. It's effective, but it's simple. But again, I don't know if the staging is eye-catching enough to get. I just have to go with my gut at that moment, but my predictions change by the minute, like the wind, y'all. And at the moment, I had to write it down and lock in because of Ernst & Young. It was on the outs.
Well, when we compare it to every single Azerbaijani entry before it, the comparison isn't that favourable. And in recent years, Azerbaijan haven't been gliding into the final.
No.
They've scraped in the last few spots. And I think this is the weakest entry, possibly since they debuted. While it's still strong, I don't think it has the impact to get through. And it really, really, really is giving me Tiana Bogasevic vibes. And it's even a similar song. The staging is similar. And she didn't qualify it. And I think this is the year that Azerbaijan, if they're ever going to lose their perfect qualification streak, it's now.
And finally, we turn to another act, and it's been growing in people's esteem. It is Switzerland. Who thinks it's going through?
Debonaderemi, wiwibloggs.com, and I'll tell you why. This entry is actually fantastic. Honestly, they're 10 spots. I think this could inch forward. I really do think that. There's a lot of energy. They keep up a lot of optimism.
They do.
They've been written out from day one.
They have.
But you know what? When you see them rehearse, they're taking it seriously. They're still like, we're still in this to kind of make an impact. And I was just thinking back, looking, I kind of felt if we switch labels round, you might think, oh, okay, this is great. But because it's got the Swiss label, you're like, this ain't going through. I think this could surprise. Whilst I'm not definitely saying it's going through, I think this really could and does deserve to go through. It's definitely in the top 10 best visual performances, top 10 best rehearsals, vocally, chemistry between the two of them, the camera shots. And actually the song is a massive grower.
Woman on drums, balancing beautifully, showing midriff, holding a flare. I agree this has some of the strongest visuals in the competition. The reason I said no was mainly Switzerland's historical difficulties getting to the final.
How is that their fault?
Devin, it's no one's fault, but the fact is it does contribute to who qualifies and who doesn't qualify. Can I finish my point, please? The song, I think, is not strong enough to go through. When you put it all together, yeah, I said it. I don't think the song is strong enough to go through. I think Coco has tons of charisma, but charisma is not always enough. If this goes through, I will be happy. As we've said, more than 10 songs deserve to go through from this semifinal. We can all agree on that.
Definitely.
And this is one of the unfortunate casualties, because in the other semifinals, it's going to sail through.
It creates enemy lines when you discover that we're not matched on favorites. It's deeply upsetting.
It's deeply upsetting. Pouring.
Yeah, well, you say whose fault is it that Switzerland don't qualify and have a poor track record? It's Switzerland's fault because they don't send strong enough songs. Sorry about it, but they don't. And this year is the same. I think Stones is a credible album track. It would be respectable to play it on your radio show if you had one. Yeah, it's an album track, but it's no good. It's not competitive enough for Eurovision. It's a filler. It's the track that an artist doesn't release as a single, and it's there. It's nice to listen to it. You don't rush to switch it off, but you're not rushing to pick up your phone to vote for it.
Oh God, those who live in glass houses.
I mean, we know that I'm the Swiss fanboy at the end of the day, so if I'm not putting it through, then there's a problem, I think. And I do think that if the crowd really get behind this at the time, and when Coco does her, if anybody's ever been her, raise your hands, that could be a great shot. But if that doesn't come through, if it doesn't quite hit that note, I can see it almost coming last in the semi-final, and I really don't want it to. They're lovely people, but lovely... no.
Well, look, after 30 minutes, we have reached the conclusion of this video. If you are still watching, we appreciate you, we love you, and we support you. We do not mean to throw shade on any of these acts, because more than 10 deserve to go through. Yeah. This has been a challenging video.
Strongest semi-final, I think, ever.
We've really had raw emotions coming out. My sister in arms and I almost had a fisticuffs punch-up.
Oh, we're having it later.
Oh, honey, yes, we are. In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Who do you think the 10 acts going through are? Which countries deserve to go through but won't go through? And who is definitely going home early? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
We've lots more videos and opinion to come, so make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications bell.
I'll be comforting many of your stars on social media when they don't make the cut. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Tumblr, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter.
And if you've made it all through, I would leave you a like, but even if you have, then make sure to leave us a like.
And feel free to throw stones, because sticks and stones won't break our soul. It's our new favorite expression. You've got to be your own miracle. We'll see you later. Bye!